after playing Mortal Kombat Onslaught for 12 hours, I think I have a good grasp of how the game works, what I like about the game, what I don't like about the game, and just, you know, what you guys should know going into, you know, Onslaught and all that kind of stuff. So I think this game was released early on purpose, just for testing purposes. So for the developers can see how people like react to the game, see how it works and all that kind of stuff. Because everybody pretty much has access to this game, and it was kind of like soft release and all that kind of stuff. There are a lot of things that I don't like about the game. There are things that I do like about the game. Legitimately, I do think this game can be pretty good, but there is just a lot of negatives that is weighing this game down, and it's sort of a mixed bag. I would overall say this game is a very, very mixed bag. I'll start with the good. I do like the direction of the story mode. The story mode is pretty simple. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's not trying to break expectations. It's not trying to be big and huge ambitious. It's small in scale with the characters you're familiar with, taking place in a familiar time period in the Mortal Kombat timeline. It's its own thing. It's not connected to anything else. It's its own kind of timeline. None of the MK11, you know, hourglass kind of stuff is there, at least so far. And so I like that. I kind of do like how it's very simple. It's very grounded. It doesn't try to do anything interesting or all that kind of stuff. Not that it's not interesting or not like fun to watch or anything like that, but it's making the the characters in the game are acting like themselves. They're being classic characters, and they're just the characters that we all know and love. And I like that, because previously in the other games, they kind of just either don't portray the characters well, or they try to make the characters, they try to take these weird directions with them, and it just doesn't work. This is not the case, at least so far, because there's only 2 chapters available. At least so far, everybody is pretty good. And everything that I've seen so far, like from people reacting in the chat and people reacting on tweets and in message boards and all that, say that the story is like already better than 11, or the story is actually pretty good so far. I don't think I've heard anybody really say anything bad about the game. Are there very minor nitpicks that I have that are really fucking annoying? Yeah, there is some things in the story mode that are just like my lore, like minded brain just like it gets annoyed about. But like, those are just nitpicks, and at this point, I really don't care. But yeah, overall, story, pretty good so far. Only 2 chapters available in this build, but so far, so good. Here's one thing that I do like. The gameplay is actually pretty engaging for me. I actually do like the gameplay. I like how strategic-based it is, but only when it's not very hard. When it gets hard, it gets incredibly hard. So overall, in general, how the game works is that, like, your mind is going to act like this. Like, okay, if I tweak this here, and if I attack right here, then I think I'm going to be all right, because that character over there is putting a lot of damage on this character. But if I move this character over here, then that character is not going to take any more damage. And then that character is going to get gone immediately, because my character, the character that's attacking, does a lot of damage. And so if I do a lot of damage and get that quickly, the battle can end quickly like that. Or, man, that's not working. Maybe if I move this character here and move that character there, it's going to work. Oh, there it goes. It works. That kind of strategic mindset is how your experience is going to be playing this game. And one thing you guys need to know about me as a person, like in real life, is that I think this way. When I think, I'm very, very analytical, and when I make my decisions, I'm very, very strategic and tactical with almost everything that I do in life. So this game is kind of right up my alley. However, that is a very exhausting mindset for the average person. And if I get exhausted, when my brain already works that way, the average person's mind is going to get exhausted way more earlier than I am. They're going to have way less tolerance than I am. Now, I'm not saying you should get rid of that kind of gameplay style, because that's kind of just how the game is. That's just what the game is built to be. But making it as hard as it was just felt so incredibly discouraging to even play. Like, if you were watching my live stream, people who are watching my live stream now, you already know, I just stopped playing the game because I made a mistake. And that's another thing about the game that I don't really like, is that the game's currency system, the way the game is monetized, it can be very, very, very rewarding. It actually is fairly rewarding for a mobile game, because most mobile games, they're very little in their rewards and they really want you to spend that money and all that kind of stuff. So I was rewarded a little bit of a story. I was rewarded pretty well in this game, but I decided to use all those rewards on a character on one character that started at level 1, and I needed them to get all the way to the rest of where my main characters were, so like level 42 and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't have enough to get them to that level. And because of that, I was not able to earn any of those currencies back. I was stuck. I could not upgrade any more of the characters than I needed to use to beat the level. I could not do anything. A mistake that I made me stop progressing in the game. And I need to wait 24 hours until those rewards and opportunities to get my stuff back are available. I have to wait 24 hours for that. No game should be that way. I'm very, very worried that this game and its monetization and its reward system is going to get worse, because, again, like I said, it is fairly rewarding for what it is right now, but that's only because I fear that it's only because this is an early access game. And usually with these early access games, they give you a lot of coins for the stuff that you do. They give you a lot of things that for you to just progress and help you get through the game, because there is no other alternative, and that alternative is real money. So once the real money alternative comes into play when the game is released, imagine how less rewarding this game is going to be. And again, even though I keep repeating this, I'm so sorry, but even though the game is as rewarding as it is, if the reward system is reduced, like with how much you gain is reduced by even like 10 or 5%, I would even say 5%. If it's reduced by like 5%, you're going to have a really, really tough time trying to get through the game without spending real money. Because then I already feel it now. You're going to have to really think, okay, that currency I can't use, but this one I can. So if I use it right here, then I'm not going to have enough for that. But if I use that, then maybe I can get this. Then you're already having a strategic mind when you're not even playing the game. You're just trying to figure out how you spend your coins. You're trying to have that strategic mindset on how you spend your coins. And that's the case for almost everything in this game. So just take a look at some of the stuff that you need to do in this game. So I have my Kung Lao right here. Just look at the stuff that I have. Here are the other gear pieces that I have. So like, I have to be very, very careful about what kind of gear I'm putting on my characters and stuff, because I have this attack set right here with this. So I would need to figure out, okay, is this an attack set gear piece? Is that an attack set gear piece? Because if I have an attack set gear piece, then my attacks on this character are going to do 35% more damage. So hold on, what do I do? Where do I put it? Well, I can have this gear piece here, but if I were to do that, then my character that does a lot of damage, like Jade, would lose that damage. So how do I get her damage up? Well, I'm gonna have to grind and go to like a boss tower or something like that. Like I have to go to like a boss tower so I can get more gear and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm talking about like having that strategic mindset when you're not even playing the game. It's mentally exhausting, but again, I have very, very high tolerance for this kind of stuff because my brain works that way in real life. That's just how I am as a person. As a person, my mind works that way. But that is a very exhausting mindset, and that can get exhausting for the average person. The average person doesn't think this way. The average person kind of wants to log on to the mobile game, tap their phone, and have a good time. That's not what you're going to get with this game. But again, if you reduce if you kind of bring that shit down, reduce the amount of currencies that you really need to keep track of, reduce the amount of strategic kind of mental exhaustion, like just reduce all that kind of stuff. Reduce the stuff that I'm complaining about. Just take it down a notch. This game can be very, very good because, again, when you are progressing, when you are unlocking things, and when you are upgrading your characters and you're just going through the battles, it is incredibly fun because although you are still doing strategic things within the game, like figuring out who to attack and all that kind of stuff, it's not incredibly like mind demanding when it's fun. When it's fun when it is not incredibly demanding mentally. But when it is demanding mentally, it is just so not fun. It is just so not fun. The game is a mixed bag. When it's fun, it's very, very fun. I legitimately have a very, very good time and a very, very enjoyable time playing the game when I'm having fun. But when I'm not, when it gets very, very hard, it is the most unfun thing I am like playing on the day. But yeah, the game just needs a lot of fixing right now. It's not a finished game. I hope it gets better from here, but again, I have a feeling that it might get worse from here because usually when there's an early access game out, the reward system is very, very charitable to you. And then once the game fully releases, that charitability is reduced because there's an alternative, which is money. And I'm afraid they're going to go that way. And if they go that way, I think this game is just fucked from the start. Honestly, I think the game is fucked from the start if they go that way. But if they go the other way, where they increase the reward system and they fix those problems where you don't have to eat shit for making a mistake and all that kind of stuff, then I feel like this game could be very, 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 very fun. Because it already is. It already is. And I've already explained why. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm very glad to be talking about Mortal Kombat again. And I can't wait to talk more about Mortal Kombat and how this game is going to be in the future. So yeah, until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.